Okay, hello and welcome. So we're playing in the January 2021 Historic Pauper Championship, as it has been deemed, and I'll be playing in the event and running it today. So please bear with me as I have to deal with some tournament admin now and again. So to briefly run you through a slightly different deck than I've been playing, this is something that's come to my attention in the past week, and well, I didn't really want to jam blue-black every single match for the last 2 months, so I wanted to give myself a little bit of diversity here. I figured it would be both polite to everyone, as then we get a little bit more variety in our metagame, and also I get to show off this really interesting and actually extremely powerful brew. So someone else who played in a recent event played some parts of this shell. The shell is Omen of the Dead, Ancestral Statue, Aviary Mechanic, and that's the main part of the shell. I've added Trusty Retriever to this part so that you can recur the Omen of the Dead from the graveyard in case it gets killed or otherwise discarded, etc. So as you can see, this actually creates a loop that you play Omen of the Dead, recur something. You Aviary Mechanic, return Omen of the Dead. If Aviary Mechanic dies, then you can recur it with Omen of the Dead, and then recur Omen of the Dead. And this goes down the chain so that if you have any number of Ancestral Statues and Aviary Mechanics, you can recur all of them from the graveyard with one Omen of the Dead. You're only limited by mana. So that's obviously a really powerful effect. Otherwise, there's just a bunch of value cards to recur. I know this deck looks a little weird because you'll notice that we're playing black, we're playing white, obviously, but we're also playing red, and there's a blue splash as well. I figured, based on all of the cards that are in the format, Omen of the Forge is a unique effect in that it enters the battlefield that does 2 damage, which does kill a lot of things. There is no card that you can really replace it with that actually works. Because of that, I needed to splash red. You'll notice this is the only red card. I am playing 2 mountains and 2 thriving lands, plus the prophetic prisms, which will help me make sure that all my mana is smooth. Momentary Blink, originally the deck was playing Flicker of Fate, but I think that Momentary Blink, because of its flashback, is worthwhile, where I don't think that Flicker of Fate is worthwhile. So that's where I ended up. Otherwise, there's just some general anti-control cards and anti-aggro cards in the sideboard. This deck has a lot of punch to it. I hope you'll get to see that really perform today. And I'm still tweaking the deck. I really only have 3 matches with it, but I love how it plays, and I wanted to give it a try. And I could have played Blue Snowball, but hey, you gotta have fun sometimes. I'll go win the Plague League champion or something championship with the Blue Snowball deck, but for right now, let's have fun and play something really spicy. So, also I think that this shell, the Ancestral Statue, Omen of the Dead, Aviary Mechanic, is something that I'm going to be porting into a lot of decks going forward. So, we'll see. Anyway, it's time to get started. So, hopefully everyone is successfully checked in, and if they haven't, that's too bad, because I cannot take any actions without them consenting. So let's get this party started. Oh, I have to do this.
New pairing received.
Great. Let's check in and let's start this up. Okay. See how we're doing here. I expect that some of these people will have checked in. Okay, so I will play first. And let's see what there is to see here. This hand is really bad because we don't have land, so I'm going to mulligan. This hand is going to be fine. It's not great. So we've both mulliganed. I'll keep 6. I don't know what my opponent's on, so I'm going to remove the 4-drop from the equation, as I want stuff that I can more immediately play. So I've played against Batista a few times, but I don't know what he'll be on today. Okay, so it looks like a green aggro deck. All right. Interesting. So I guess this is probably the green counters deck. It's a little unfortunate. This slow start is probably going to come back to haunt me, unless my opponent has kind of a soft draw. We did hit the land, which is good. I'm going to start by just trying to force some trades, and then hopefully I'll be able to build up towards something else. Not having a 2-drop was a little awkward against this. I would rather kill the Gnarlid Colony here, just because it has some additional effects. I guess I'll just jam another Rager and we'll keep doing this, and hopefully I can hit some lands. Okay, this will be pretty good, because this will give me the tokens, or the creatures necessary to kill one of these things, and then I'll Ancestral Statue it back, and Statue will be a really nice blocker. And I will block here. And I'll probably actually take my turn here to kill this, as I don't want to deal with it going forward. So now we're like pretty secure. I might Omen of the Dead. It'll depend on what my opponent does. Yeah, I kind of like Omen of the Dead here. Ooh, hybrid. Hybrid will be a problem. So I need Moment of Craving or something like that, which it looks like I don't have at this stage. Let's try and redraw into it. Okay. So now I've got Momentary Blink Tricks, which I might use. I expect that hybrid is just going to get big. Here, I'll block here, force the trick, and then I'll blink it, which is not great, but I got to do something here. So, based on the slow start, I probably lose, but there's some interesting options still. So I can chump this for a while, and Omen of the Sun gives me a lot of options. So the question is, how do I want to actually trade for all of their creatures? I think the answer is I just want to deploy maximum amounts of threats, and from there I can get some options going forward. So now I've got enough to actually trade for most of their creatures, which is what I want. I don't think I'm going to try and jam on the hybrid. I think that that's just asking for trouble. Okay, Huntmaster. Huntmaster does not give trample, so it actually isn't that good. Yeah, you've got to attack, like, you can't even attack with these things. Okay, so let's see. I definitely want to trade, so I definitely want to get rid of Mechanic. So let's get rid of Mechanic there. And then the question is, do I want to commit to killing the hybrid at the cost of everything and get blown up by a trick? I don't think I do. So what I want is actually to Rager and then probably just trade here. This will give me some good options going forward because I have Omen of the Sun, obviously. So I don't have blue mana now, so let's get blue. That's a critical thing. I guess what I should do here is go grab Mechanic, because Mechanic is free. And this gives me my infinite jump blocks. And then I can Mechanic, acquire the Omen again, and I'll just pass. And then I have Omen of the Sun during combat, which will give me a 1/1 and also give me better trades against the Huntmaster. So if the Huntmaster is not attacking, it means there's no tricks. Oh, no attacks. Okay, that's fine. We don't mind no attacks. We'll go up to 9. This wolf is going to be a little annoying, but the nice thing is that Ancestral Statue is a really big beating. And we're just going to make a bunch of life and make a bunch of creatures. And green is not going to be good at dealing with how wide we're about to go. Yeah. And they're not going to be 3 Ancestral Statues with the Omen of the Dead loop. So. I don't know what tricks they could have. So I'm going to jam this because there's no reason not to. And that gives me some more options with how I want to block. Let's see. So how big do I think they could make it? They could fight my guy. If they fought my guy... Here, let's actually just... You know what? I don't think they've got enough tricks. This provides that they have to kill 3 of my creatures in order to get a block that's problematic for me. And Ancestral Statue is annoying, so it'll be good. Okay. Oh, nice. Those are blocks that we love. And I think we've got this in the bag now. Yeah, especially with drawing Omen of the Forge, like, there's nothing that can be done here. I'll kill the wolf because the wolf's annoying. And then I'll just play this. This still provides black. I'll recur Omen because then that'll set up some Omen turns in the future. And I will pass the turn to them. And this is like pretty much a nice board lock at this point. Obviously there's no downside to casting Omen to recur my statue because it's free. It's just a matter of making sure that all the mana works out. And then I will begin my attacks. I'll start attacking with this, and hey, let's attack with Mechanic too. We're just trying to force all the bad blocks, because this deck turns the corner real fast. I'm going to let damage resolve. There's no reason not to. Okay, so now I will Omen their creature. And then I actually just want to Prism to give myself some more outs potentially, and that's nice. So I'll pass and I'll have Blink up, even though it won't appear to be so. Okay, Hybrid. And they're 1 mana short, it looks like. I could sack one of these, but I'd rather have access to them, to be honest. Ah, perfect. Oh, they don't. Alright, so they do actually have it. Okay, that's fine. Here, this is kind of cute. I could do it a different way with Blink in response, but I just want to threaten this because it messes them up. And then I'll recur Omen of the Dead actually, because I like that a little more. And I'll attack with all my creatures. And I'll probably recur Cavalry at the end step, but it's not really that necessary. So we had a stumbling start, but this deck gums up the board like no one's business. So let's pull this up to the normal. So we need another one of these. I don't really like Libation against this type of deck. I do like Omen of the Sun, especially when they can't wipe it out. It's like pretty strong to have access to it. So let me see. I'm not as good with sideboarding on this deck yet. I think Egg is like something that's like a little lackluster. I think also shaving a Blink. While it was okay there, it's a little twitchy. Maybe I shouldn't play this many Omens because they don't draw cards. Yeah, I think that this is going to be okay. They're probably going to try and bring in enchantment removal, but the nice thing is that enchantment removal isn't amazing against this. Maybe I should cut an Egg and play one more Omen of the something. I like Egg. Nah. Alright, let's play... They're probably going to bring in enchantment removal, even though it's going to hurt them. So even though it's going to hurt them, I'll keep egg. We'll see what they end up doing. Alright. Okay, so this hand is pretty good. We don't have anything for the mechanic, but there's so many cards that turn on mechanic, and technically cavalry is okay for mechanic. Not great though. And then swift response is a nice hard removal spell. So this needs to be for red. And I'll just play this, and then I'll probably kill the wolf or whatever they play on 3. I imagine it's wolf, Llanowar Visionary. I'll kill that too. I need something to do, and that qualifies. And then I'll probably just play mechanic on my turn to use my mana. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Alrighty. We need a Prophetic Prism, which is, oh, that's really rough for them. I feel a little bit bad. Yeah, this is why this deck is such a machine. Because it's got 8 pieces of removal on 2, and it just destroys aggro decks if it hits its mana. So I think I probably need to tweak this. It seems like we're a little light on red, but it's still fine. I'm going to wait and probably... Actually, no, I want to be able to play cavalry, so I want to use my mana as efficiently as possible, because then I can just start attacking and being really aggressive. Because right now I get to play a tempo game with 2 removal spells in hand. But this one is not actually a removal spell for the purposes of what we're doing. I just get to attack every single turn. I'll probably sack the Omen to scry at the end of this turn, because it doesn't really do anything at this point. I wonder what my opponent has. Probably some big things. Yeah, Silverback Shaman, that's awkward. We'll just kill that. And scry. And I do want the statue, and I don't want the craving. And I'll just hold on to the statue. Or wait, I've got 6 mana. So what I'll actually do is put them to 2, and then I'll bounce it and threaten lethal next turn. And it's too hard for them to deal with that. Alright, so that was pretty good. Good start to the day. This deck has some really polarized matchups, just because of how because of its removal suite, and just because of how devastating the removal suite can be against certain decks. Because Historic Pauper is very much a creature format. It's got a lot of diversity, there's a lot of important pillars of the format, but they're all creature decks for the most part. There's a couple of non-creature control decks, but those have been pushed out, or maybe not pushed out, but pushed to the fringes now because of value creature decks, where you can get multiple cards worth of value out of a single creature. Typically, to get multiple cards out of a single creature, you need to do something fancy. Like Aviary Mechanic is multiple cards. It doesn't look like it is, but it is because of how you recur something that recurs something, and it starts a loop. And that's really what you're looking for. Alright, here we go. We managed to get this figured out. By the way, if you ever play these tournaments, this is just a general statement to everyone. Yeah, on its death. There's no enters the battlefield. Please don't friend people. Just direct challenge them. That's what you're supposed to do. Alright, let's not get frustrated. So this is like an awkward hand, but I've got enough good 3s that I think I want to keep it. So let's just see where it goes. Alright, Serrated Scorpion. So I feel like that's going to I'll be okay if I can draw a land here. And that might be an issue, though. Maybe I should have mulliganed it, but I felt like this hand was pretty solid with Omen and Rager. Well, let's cycle this. This could be awkward. Okay, that's actually just perfect. Like, if we had to draw into that, now we've got red, and it just gets to go off here with the statues and stuff. I think I'm going to lead on Rager just to get another card, because I want to hit my 4th and 5th land drops. Yeah, it's quite possible that I don't. Oh, actually, well, I'm just going to kill this now. It's a little awkward that I have to do that, but I can't let this thing go out of control. Yeah. Yeah, it's quite possible I would end up dead if that was the case. Maybe I play... Okay, so they're recurring it. Well, if they're doing that, I can just recur mine. I probably will do that on my next turn instead of playing Rager. Although I actually only need one land. So maybe I should play Rager, because then I get 2 draw steps to hit a land, or 3 I should say, because this next one, the one off Rager, and then the one on the next turn. It also gums up the ground and helps me draw towards something. I think I'm committed to this. Okay, but alright, so even if I don't draw it, at the same time I have Omen, which will be nice. So now I take 2 in the air. That's really aggressive. I'm 100% blocking here. This is not like each time I take damage, right? Yeah. Okay, so they were just suiciding that. I don't like that. If you've got fungal infection, you need to do it before combat and just kill my creature. Okay, so now I think it's a question on how I want to use my mana. It might be a little aggressive, but I think I want to Cruelty to use my mana better, because next turn I can do Omen and Mechanic or something like that. So let's get in for 2 here. Every point of damage is going to matter. So my opponent has a lot of lands. We'll see what happens here. Spare supplies. Okay, so this is like a mono black value deck. I think that, or like value drain deck. I don't think I'm going to have trouble with this. Okay, so it's this type of deck. I don't have a problem with where we're going. This is really annoying personally, but I don't think there's anything we can do. I think what I should do is just kill the Marcher. And then carry on from there. Yeah, I think that's the plan. The one thing is I'm a little bit worried about where we're going to end up. And I'm just going to kill it now because I know that a deck like this is going to play Village Rites. So I don't want to let them sack it for value. And I can't imagine that we lose this game if we hit a 4th land, because I have Mechanic, I've got Omen of the Sun, I've got 2 statues. I'm just going to gain so much life, it's going to be ridiculous, and it's going to be great. So we've gotten a little bit unlucky. I feel like that's a little bit below average, hitting only 3 lands and 15 cards. Okay, so my opponent's not going to attack here, and they're just going to sit on this. And if I don't draw anything, I'm going to Cruelty one of their creatures. Oh! I play 23. So it's well below average here. So now the question is, do I want to Omen of the Dead? And I think I do, just because otherwise we get into too many problems with the number of cards and where they are. So let's, I guess, play Rager. This is very awkward. Like, we keep trying to find lands. Okay. So we found a land, so that's good. That means I'll be okay. Yeah, I don't really just like playing Omen of the Sun, I just wanted to dig. So I imagine my opponent's going to have a removal spell. We're going to go into 5. And then I'm going to mechanic plus forge and kill their creature. I might go down to 4 because they've got some drain effect also. But the fact that they haven't been playing creatures over the last couple turns really tells me a lot about what the contents of their hand is, because they would have played other things. Okay, so now we're just in business, everyone is happy, and we're all good. Yeah, you're not supposed to attack with those. If you're playing this card, it means you want it to be alive. So the question is, do I play 2 mechanics or do I play a statue? I think that I just play a statue here, and I think it's just a little bit better, and I'll bring back an omen. The reason is that I can be more flexible with the mechanics, and on 5 I get to like sun, mechanic, and a bunch of stuff here. So I think my opponent is either just flooded out or they're on removal, but I'm not sure why that would be the case. I'm going to be a little bit, it's not exactly sloppy here, but I'll just start my recursion engine a little bit and make sure that nothing is going to kill me out of nowhere. But right now I think we're pretty good with 7 cards in hand and whatever nonsense. This is not an especially great deck. Giant Skewer. That's an annoying card, but I think I can play around it, generally. Sorry, let's go to combat. We'll go get him. And I think I'm just going to statue, recur that, and then I'm also going to play this, and that's going to put lethal on the board like 6 different ways. So I like that. Yeah, and then you're going to try and hook that up, and there's going to be death, because I'm going to cruelty it, and that'll be the ball game. Because I also have 4 points of burn. Technically, I've got a little bit more because of the retriever. The dog is really good. Alright, there we go. And that's lethal. Great. The only sweeper in this format here, let's configure this, is that's good is Suffocating Fumes. There's a red one also that's less good. It's 1 mana for 1 damage to all their creatures. Okay, so they're playing mono black. So what do I like against mono black here? I think because they're like a little aggressive, I want to play a second Omen of the Sun. Didn't look like they were doing anything like super low to the ground. Maybe I want another Cruelty just to make sure that I can kill some of their slightly bigger threats. The thing is, it doesn't actually matter how many cards I sandbag because of the Omen of the Dead loop. Because 1 Omen of the Dead brings back any number of mechanics and statues. So it doesn't actually matter if I sandbag anything or not. Yeah, it does seem like that. But I don't really want to commit to... One thing you can do with this is you can board in 4 of them, and then try to play 2 of them on 6 mana, and just kill all their creatures in certain matchups. But I don't really like that here. I think here, we're mostly going to be... I didn't see any removal, so I don't really like Blink. I'm going to keep Egg. Because that'll give me a little more flexibility in the early days. Maybe I don't like Egg. I feel like I'm boarding out eggs a lot, and I don't really know why, and that's a problem. Yeah, the big flying guy is something I'm worried about. So the question is, do I play a Cruelty, or do I play an Omen? Kind of like Cruelty. I feel like their deck doesn't do a lot, and I want to... Oh, actually, wait. Because they're playing the Drainers... yeah, alright, sure, let's go. You can convince me. It might be necessary for synergy, and I agree with you on that, but it does seem like I'm boarding it out a lot, but it could be right to have it in the main board. The reason I'm bringing in Libations is because they're probably on the Drain Life deck, and oh, this is... Wow, this is so bad. Challenge matches have untimed sideboarding. This is terrible. This is why I never accept friend requests from people, because... like, my opponent seems nice enough, but I don't like friend request challenges because they don't have timers. We'll be okay, but I like having timers because Turbo Fog is an actual deck that occasionally falls into this type of tournament, as does there's some blue-black control decks that take a while. So, alright. Let's see how the tournament's doing. I should probably talk about standings at some point. It looks like no one has completed their matches yet. So, okay, this hand looks great. I love what we're doing here. Thank you. Hopefully I'll see you around a little bit later. If you'd like a link to the Discord or anything like that, we'd love to have you play some Historic Pauper with us. Trespasser's Curse. Okay. So, that means I'm going to be bringing in more libations post-board to make sure that I can answer this. It's not a particularly good card, but it's definitely annoying. And I'm going to take this moment... Nope. Oh, I didn't want to play that. Oh well. I meant to cast Cruelty, but I guess I drew a third Rager. That's fine. Oh, that's actually even better. Now I'll just Omen of the Forge it, and then exile it. That's fine. Demonic Vigor. Okay, that's fine, I guess. This is when it dies. Okay, great. Say hello to Cruelty. So do I care about being on 4 versus 5? I don't think so. So I'm just going to exile their graveyard, and it'll be fine. I think I can win this pretty easily from here, just between all the nonsense that I have. This does cost me 2 life, which is annoying, but I'll make do. And then I'll just pass. Maybe I'm supposed to play Mechanic there. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to play Mechanic, but this will be okay. And then I'll Mechanic actually for the Forge. And play Gallant, I think. There's probably a Village Rites here, based on the way it's flickering. However, they did it too early, so I get 2 free points of damage here. Which, while not incredibly relevant when they're at 23, you never know when it matters. So let's just attack, and then I'll take 3 points of damage to play Cavalry and recur my Omen. So Trespasser's Curse is an interesting effect. I actually think that I like it as a sideboard card more than I used to. If they don't draw removal, they're going to be in trouble, because I have enough stuff to just kill all their stuff from here to Doomsday. I think I'm going to play Statue because it significantly increases my my clock here. And getting an extra card is not a bad thing. And I've got Cruelty for the first creature, and I don't think their creatures are going to get that big. Yeah, so they're just dead. I'm not going to play anything just to avoid any nonsense, but I can't imagine they beat this board. It is unfortunate that they have... 1 minute, they're playing more than 60 cards. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Why are they playing so many cards? Hold on. I actually want to know this now. Here, I'll report my match, but... Okay, hold on. Let's figure out how many cards my opponent's playing. So this is 2, 4, 7, 16, 17. So they're playing 56 cards in the main. Huh, interesting. Anyway, so this was another pretty decent one. And set us up for round 3, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. So that was it pinging me and saying, hi, I need to play against my opponent. This is good. We'll exit out of this. We'll direct challenge my opponent. My opponent knows what to do. As they are an old hand at this, this is going to be a long slog. So, ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. We are in for an extremely bumpy ride. Alright, this hand is like pretty bad. Like if I had one more land I'd snap keep this, but I just can't. Okay, so this is okay. One cavalry out, the rest of these I think I need. Actually my opponent's on... No, my opponent's going to be on some value creatures. So we'll keep a Moment of Craving. And then this will be for red. But this is going to be a really tough matchup because my opponent's going to be on blue-black. And they're going to be on a blue-black deck that I think is less good than mine. They've been brewing this for a while, but at the same time, this blue-black deck is going to have plenty of punch. So we'll just see where this goes. I expect that they have Essence Scatter there. Okay, they have Frantic Inventory. Great, so we drew a card. That's actually good. I have to play into that because I don't have a choice, but it's fine. Now they've got Rager, Deny the Divine. I don't like Deny the Divine. I've been thinking about it a bit, but it's just really an awkward card. It's not worth paying the extra mana for it, generally. So I would like a land. They might not actually have a land. Oh, they're debating. Okay, so I want a land. Great, and I will play my cavalry. The clock is something that matters here. So actually I should start the clock, speaking of that. Okay, yeah, this is an interesting card that they play. They do play Wander in Death, so that it's actually a recursion strategy. This is the other card they play that I think is horrifically bad. But hey, that's what it is. Oh good, they get to waste one of their Bajuka Bogs. They are going to regret that, like, so much. Alright, so I get to kill it, and I'm doing it with Moment because that shrinks its power, which means that I kill it appropriately. I'm going to play this, and then I think what I'm going to do is play out this to grab my Prism. And this is where they probably know I'm just doing something like super weird. Okay, so I actually want them to hit a land here. Because then as a 1-2, this is why you don't play this card. Because it's just so bad as a 1-2. It's like okay as a 2-3, but the fact you don't get to choose. This kind of, if you watch a lot of Magic, you'll and follow a lot of Magic, one thing, one person you'll probably know is PV's articles, Paulo Vitor Damadrosa. And one of the things he says is that you should always make the forcing play, and I agree with that. If you have the option, you should always be making the forcing play. And it breaks that rule, because you sometimes have a 1-2, but what if you actually really wanted that, you didn't want that land? So because of that, it creates this push and pull with the whole situation that I don't like, that you can end up with the wrong things. I wish I had Momentary Blink just to blow him out right there. Like, I'm going to get him with Blink at some point in this match, and it's going to be great. So, okay, so I will Prism, and I think what I'm going to do is Statue here, just because I don't really need any of this stuff, and I might as well just be getting cards. I'm trying to find a Momentary Blink to 3 for 1 him, because Momentary Blink will counter a removal spell and draw me a card. And it doesn't actually cost me a card. So I guess maybe it's like a 2.5 for 1 or something like that. Okay, so now you're becoming a 3/1. That's an interesting card. I've been playing around with this because I actually think it's good at killing X1s. Okay, so you kill 2 of my cards, right? Okay, great. That doesn't matter. Alright, I'm going to start off on this, I think. Actually, that was wrong. Because I want to attack into this thing, actually, this is going to be fine. I will play Omen of the Forge, and I will kill his Siren Lookout. And he might counter it. And if he counters it, then I get to Omen of the Forge again. The issue was I shouldn't have played this first, because I couldn't be guaranteed that I'll have another removal spell for this thing. So right now it's about a beatdown game, and that's where it gets interesting. I've been considering Reaper of the Abyss for this type of matchup because there's a lot of cards you need to clear out. My opponent is 100% thinking about if they want to use a counterspell here. And I think they're going to decide that it's correct, and unfortunately for them it's going to be really bad. And then I will figure out what I'm doing with the remainder of these things. Oh, I really wish that I could blow them out there, but oh well. It is what it is. So this means because I resolved it, that I'm willing to sacrifice one of them. Is this explores when it enters the battlefield? Okay, Seagate Oracle. Seagate we're going to kill the same way. We're going to kill it with an Omen going over the top. My opponent, though, might actually make it into a 3/2 here with Favor. Okay, so I just have a lot of Omens. Because I've got so many Omens, I'm actually going to use Cruelty here. Just because there aren't a lot of spells that really matter. Here, I'll just use a second Cruelty. We're just trying to jam through as much damage as possible here. And that's our goal. My opponent's not going to be great at gaining life. The only thing they're going to have is Moment of Craving. And I guess Dismal Backwater. But right now, oh, this is going to be such a blowout. Like, I might just kill them if they try and kill one of my creatures. So, and we've got blue for Momentary Blink, so everything is great here. Hieroglyphics. Okay, they're probably dead if they're playing Hieroglyphics. So I think I'm going to play one Omen end of turn. Maybe. No, I don't want to let them know. Nah, I will play one Omen, just because I want mana efficiency. And this forces them into some weird situations. I actually get to cast all my spells at the end of turn if I want to. So, okay, they deny the Divine, and then they're dead. Alright, we get good games, yeah. Alright, that was pretty sweet. As games go, that was really nice. So, my opponent is doing some stuff over there. So I probably want Memory Leak. I probably want my second Omen of the Dead. I know I don't want any of these things. I probably want my Duresses. I don't want Swift Response. They've got a couple of giant creatures, like this Riverwinder. So I do have to consider that, but I don't think that they're really that important. So I think I can shave a Cruelty. I definitely don't want Moment of Cravings. So maybe I do want one. I probably want 2 Libations because they're a little bit better than Cruelties for the most part. So I'll cut down to 1 Cruelty. What do I not need here? Omen of the Forge is not great. So actually I probably want a Cruelty and an Omen because Omen will let me go wide. And I don't think that they actually, because they saw no X1s, they're going to cut all of their other things. Maybe I want to cut another Omen, but I like Omen to go over the top of their little creatures because they do have some annoying little creatures. Yeah, I think this is probably okay where we're at. Like, I got to switch around. Maybe I'm supposed to cut one more Cruelty but I think that like where I'm at is pretty good. Alrighty, game 2. So this would be a really big game for me to win. Okay, so this is a really nice starter. I guess I'm going to start on this, and then I'm going to duress them on turn 2 and play another tapped land. And then they're probably going to negate this. They almost shouldn't have negates in against me. It's really weird. Oh, that's awkward. Alright, well, I'll take an inventory. It's about the same regardless of how I cut it. What is this card? That's one of the things. I can't tell the difference between the thriving lands because they're just so similar. So this makes white. I probably want to make red because I still do have some omens in. So they do get to draw 2, and that's annoying. Maybe I'm supposed to take a removal spell because of that. Because it doesn't actually trade correctly. Yeah, I probably was supposed to take a removal spell. Oh well. The thing is, I haven't shown them my Omen of the Dead combo, and I don't think they know about it because he hasn't been as active in certain spheres. So I think what I want is to start on Duress, and I'll take Deny the Divine, because I don't want to get countered. And then I will play Prism, because I'd rather have good mana. Perfect. So now they're going to duress me and take Egg, which is not really that great.
New ticket received.
Oh, I have tickets. Why do I have tickets? Okay, so I'm just going to play Rager here. And I'm not ready to... Oh, I actually should use my Bajuka Bog here. Because that'll eat 2 of the inventories, which is nice. Oh. Wow, that's really lucky that they had all the inventories in the top 15. But oh well. Oh well, that's c'est la vie. That is really unfortunate for us, though. Okay, so I have to deal with this support ticket at the same time as playing this match. But I'll make do. So I'll attack. But this is unfortunate that I'm going to have to like play this out in a way that's going to be annoying for everyone. Or in this way. Okay, so I guess I just attack here. That was just a really frustrating what am I talking about? Really frustrating frantic inventory. But we'll see. Like without that, I feel like my opponent is dead in the water because they only have 3 cards in hand, and it just doesn't matter what I do. I think I Ancestral statue. Maybe I'm actually supposed to aviary mechanic here. It's all about the same. Okay, so my opponent's taking the time to kill the Rager. And I'll recur the Prism for more value. But maybe I'm just supposed to like mechanic and then draw the card. Who knows? Okay, so now they've got River Serpent. That's fine. I don't mind River Serpent. And I'm going to end step that, I think. Although it opens it up to counterspells, so I don't really want that. Okay, so now I've got another Bojuka Bog if needed. So I guess let's just keep making guys. Like, when in doubt, that's what I should be doing. I'm not ready to exile the graveyard yet. I want to get a little bit more action in there. Although I guess I can always recur the Bojuka Bog, so I need the mana. And I'm probably going to sacrifice the Omen of the Forge. So let's actually just do that here. We'll pass. Be fine. Okay, so they're killing my guy in response. Just like a little awkward. Maybe I should have waited and tried to get one more card in the exile zone, but it's fine. And do I pass turn? I think I do. So this board is still pretty stable. We still haven't shown them the Omen of the Dead combo. I don't remember if I brought in a third Omen or not. I hope I did. I think what I want to do is scry here at end step. Okay, so I've got Omen and Libation. I probably, like, I'd like to have Libation if I can. And I'm going to try and jam it here, which might be a little risky, but I think it's worthwhile enough. Like, the advantage here is just really good if I get it through. Yeah, so this is just really good now for me. Nope, and now we're catching a little bit here, so I have to make sure I play fast. Okay, so now we got them under 20. That's good. And we're about to effectuate the great Omen of the Dead attack. So I have to hope that there's no suffocating fumes, but I think that they probably boarded them out because they didn't see Omen of the Dead. Yeah, okay, so they're shuffling those cards in. That's fine. They've still, like, they don't have a lot going, and they're about to get Omen of the Deaded. And this is where I just manufacture an entire army. See, if they don't have another counterspell here, they're never having another counterspell. Yeah, they hadn't seen this before. It's sweet. This is, and I still have another Omen of the Dead. It just doesn't look like I do. So this is really sweet. Now we just attack. This is the vicious part of the deck when it fights more traditional blue-black. So we'll first turn all our guys sideways. I don't actually want to put Omen of the Dead in my hand. It's actually safer on the field right now. Simply because they have duresses, and I don't have any creatures in the graveyard right now. So I have Mechanic. I guess what I'm going to do is Mechanic the Prism, and just use it to draw a card and get onto the board here. Oh, so I have a dog now. In that case, if I have a dog, I just want to like develop my board and There's no single card they can draw, and this should just kill them. Gloomhunter with Kicker. Jesus. Okay. Well, I can go rebuy some stuff here, so I can actually just go over the top of that. It's like a little awkward, but it's fine. They kill the Rager, that's fine. So they go to 3. I have a bunch of prisms, so it's okay. Rebuy the Forge. Forge them. One sec, what is their life total? Oh, they're just conceding. Yeah, they don't have anything. Alrighty. That was an exciting match, and we've managed to escape it. And then here we go. Round 4. Fingers crossed that we can get this and win this tournament. It'd be really sweet to win with this deck. And I feel like I actually want to win with this deck more than blue-black, because blue-black is just normal and happy and all that stuff. So okay, so I won the roll. That's great. I love this opener. This is perfect. I don't know what my opponent's on, but this is great. Okay, so I'm going to start on a Plains. That's going to really like screw with them. Because I've played Idling before. Idling knows that I play blue-black. So the fact that I'm leading on Plains. Okay, so he's on red-black something. Hitting that land was really nice, because then I get to play Phyrexian Rager. He's probably like, what the heck are you doing? I'm famous for playing blue-black in this event. Okay, so he's, ooh. Machino Pyromancer. I think I'm going to slow down here for a second, actually. And just kill his creature, because I don't want any nonsense here from whatever the heck he's doing over there. I just want to have a nice clean game. I did not expect to see Pyromancer. And then I'll probably play Rager, and then I'll have the ability to recur it if it gets into a trade. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I'll do this, and then I'll just pass the turn. I shouldn't have played the land, because I do have a lot of tapped lands. So we'll just see. All right, let's start the round timer. Okay, Perilous Mirror. So it looks like you're a red-black kind of sacrificey deck. Okay, that's fine. We get drained here. And then on my next turn, I'm probably, because I'm going to go to 5 mana, I'm going to kill this thing. Here, let's just play this. Yeah, I'm going to take some time to kill this, because I really don't want to deal with it. Oh, okay, good. I was like, I really don't want to let this thing sacrifice and get recurred, because this deck plays Wander in Death. So we've got another one of these, so we'll kill it. And then I'll play my Plains, which sneakily allows me to play Omen of the Forge. So this is going to be a lot of fun here. All right. So I still have a lot of life, which is good. My opponent doesn't have a lot of cards, and I have stuff to stop them right now. Momentary Blink will be very good. Okay. So I am going to take the time to kill that. Oh wow, this is wild. Oh, I've played against this deck before, just not with Idling playing it. So let's kill Nocturnal Feeder here. This will drain me a little bit, but it'll be okay. So I just have to survive the next couple turns here. But Fruit doesn't have a lot of gas because it takes 3 cards. Okay, that's fine. I am going to take the time to kill this here, and then I'll exile the other thing. I don't mind being drained a little bit here. Okay, so I don't really need the other thing, so I think what I want here is a card. So let's see where it goes. Okay, so I get fruited, that's fine. So I need Bazooka Bog. That'd be really nice. Let's play this and draw a card, and then we're just going to keep attacking. Okay. I should keep investing into the board here, and I'll just pick up the Prism again. And now it's a race, and the question is, do they draw anything that's worthwhile? And Hobble Fiend is not really worthwhile. I will kill the Hobble Fiend, even though it does deal me some damage. Alright, so I'm going to play this, and then hopefully I get a land or something. So this is going to be potentially pretty close. So I'm probably going to get fruited here. My opponent does need to come up with a bunch of damage, so if they have Royal Eruption, this is going to be a problem. But otherwise, I think I'm pretty safe based on the number of attacks they have. I think it's going to be really hard for them to win. Lampad, okay. I'm going to jam with all my creatures, and we're going to see what they do. Okay, so they block. I see. So I actually need to Moment of Craving to make sure that they don't kill me with something. And then I will Omen of the Forge them. This is going to be a close game, though, unfortunately for me. Like, I feel like this is closer than it should be. Maybe if they pull the trigger on this now. Okay, no, they're too good for that. So now they sacrifice it. I go to 3. So this is more like a red-black burn deck almost. So I have to hope that they don't hit a burn spell. That's annoying. Oh, but that's going to be really good. So I'm going to get to cap them off here. Let's start off on Prism, which maybe isn't right, but it's close. Ooh, that's going to be great here. Because now I get to kill them, or I get to put them to 3. Like, this puts me back into they must have Royal Eruption or bust, as they no longer have fruit. So this will also put them to dead on the next turn. If they brick on 1 card here, then I've got it, because I get to blink one of my creatures and bring back Forge. So this is lethal. One minute, what? Oh, I've got enough, it's fine. Alright, so we get game 1, awesome. So now I have to bring in enough stuff to deal with all their nonsense over there. We definitely want those. I don't think I want Suffocating Fumes. I do want Cruelty, because I have to kill some of their bigger creatures. What else am I doing? I think I outclass them pretty quickly in a lot of their matchups, or a lot of their things, so I don't think I want Blink. Blink is not really that great. I might actually want to cut both Blinks. I like Egg a lot, but I don't think it's where I want to be for this type of a matchup. I think I want to cut 1 Egg. And I just want to be killing all their stuff as quickly as possible. Okay. I don't want Duresses. I don't want to try and fight over that. This is like a burn deck. So they've got some X1s, but they don't have a lot of them. I think this is fine. I'd consider bringing in Frika's Libation, but I don't think that's really where I want to be. Okay, this hand is going to be a little clunky, but I like it a lot overall. Okay, their hand's a little clunky too. They're playing Evolving Wilds. So I'll play this now. And I do want to eat their graveyard at the right time, so I'm probably going to sit on one Bazooka block until I can kill a fruit. Okay, so they get to do this. We do the same song and dance as last game. The only difference is that I don't have Prism, and I'm going to Rager on 3 probably, and then like Cruelty, Bog stuff, depending on what their next card is. Okay, so I definitely Rager here. And then I probably Cavalry, and then kill their creature and Bog. That seems like the best line for me. So I can definitely outvalue them. The question is, can I outsurvive them and their burn? Okay, so I'm 100% blocking there. I just 100% block every single time that I possibly can. Okay, so they have Lampad. And I don't really care about Lampad, so I'm just actually going to play Cavalry here and start going wide. Next turn I'll have access to probably Omen and Bog, but maybe Cruelty. If they tap out, then I'm going to Cruelty one of their things. So I'm going to attack here. So there's no reason not to. And they have to decide if they're willing to accept. Okay. And I don't really want to bog them right now, but at the same time, I need the 5th mana, so let's do that. And if they ever tap out, then I will use some combination of these, but for right now, I'm just going to Omen. I don't mind taking 2 here. It's not that bad. Okay, they have Scorpion. Now I get to start gaining life. I'm probably going to Cruelty, killing the Lampad, which is not actually going to kill it. And then I'm going to... They've got to decide if they're sacrificing anything else, which is kind of interesting here. Okay. That's fine. And then I'm going to kill this flyer. It's possible that I actually should have killed... Oh, they're going to have Village Rights here. That's pretty good. And that stops my life gain. And because I can recur this with Aviary Mechanic, I don't mind doing this here. Maybe I actually should have attacked first. There's no reason to not be able to exile the Scorpion. Okay, so I don't need these critters to attack yet. Just want to attack in for 4. Next turn, I get to play Statue and then potentially make more guys, which is good. Hobble Fiend, okay. Again, we're going to attack in. Alright, so I get a trade, which is good. And then I get to recur my Omen of the Sun. Just playing like a normal black-white deck right now. It's kind of funny. Okay, so they gain a life. They're a little bit... They've drawn a lot of lands. Can't imagine they play that many. So they might still be on Suffocating Fumes, but I don't think so. I don't think they would have read me for having like so much stuff. Here, let's kill this and then just get in. That might be a little aggressive, but well. We'll make do. Alright, now we'll just punch in. And I will play the land because it's useful for certain things in my chain, even though I don't really have them right now. Okay, so they go to 8. That means they're still alive at the end of this turn. I'm going to sacrifice this for the Scry. And I'll bring back Rager. And then I'll attack with... Oh, I did that a little early. Oh well, whatever. It's fine. I will just attack with everyone. There's probably a chump block and then maybe a Moment of Craving. And I will go down to 12 because I can't imagine they can deal 12 damage with this many cards. Okay, so that could have been lethal, maybe. As is, I think we've got it. Yeah, that's a lot of lands. Jeez, that really sucks. All right, well, that is that. Managed to grab that. All right, so let's see what else there is to see at this point. I'd like to let some more of the round go, as I'm curious about where we're actually going to end up. But I am going to add a window capture here for the actual tournament so that I can show you the standings. Okay, so we're opening up standings. Okay, so we're done with this. We'll show what we've got. All right, so we've got standings here somewhere. Great. And let me create another source for this. Should show what it's supposed to show here. So we're still one round to go, but here, I'm gonna close that for 1 second while we wrap up with this deck. So I managed to win this tournament and go 4-0. After some long struggles and battling through various people. I think this deck has a lot of gas, and it can do a lot of really interesting things. So now that we're out of the tournament, we're going to make some changes. And if you look back through the chat, there should be a link to my metagame overview that'll have the general list, and I'll continue updating it as I go. I think what we want is Rambunctious Mutt, so let me actually put this back to normal. So I think I'd like a Rambunctious Mutt in the sideboard. Excuse me. 5 mana might be a lot though. I'd like being able to cast a lot of spells and have cheap things. So I'm going to start with 1 Rambunctious Mutt, and I'm actually going to cut the Memory Leak, as I'm not a huge fan of it. I'm debating on the Unicorn, but I'm still not sure, and the Reaper I think is really expensive. So I generally like where this deck is going, and I think it's got a lot of options for the future. So hopefully we get to see it a little bit more. So I think that's the only change I would make from today. I really liked how the deck played. I'd consider changing up the egg count, but I really like having 6 of these 2-drops that I just have. It enables me to have a really fast and consistent start. Swift Response we didn't really see, but it's because we didn't play against Stompy. If we were playing against Stompy, I think having Swift Response would be really nice. It's possible, though, that I just want another Moment of Craving, and I think that's what I probably should do. So let's actually just switch that over there. Let's just be simple. The other thing I could do is just play a 4th Cruelty, if I think that that's going to be an issue. Because I do have a lot of stuff in the early game, but I'm really only worried about what's going to happen in the early game. Everything else I can trade for. So, yeah, let's try that. I think Swift Response was just a little too fancy. Actually, I like Swift Response. I like it because I expect to need stuff at the early points in the game, and killing attacking creatures is fine, especially against more aggressive builds that we didn't really see as much. We saw like the really aggro decks, but we quickly turned the corner on those. I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kaladeem does. I think that we'll be playing this tournament about once a month now, so if you want to join in, or if you just want to generally join our Pauper Discord, come on over. We would love to have you. If I can ever get this thing to extend. Blah. Let's try this again. And maybe Arena just doesn't work anymore. Oh well. So here, we'll just build it like this. So this is how I like looking at it. So this was Skyfisher Value. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you have any thoughts, feel free to ping me here on Twitter, on Discord, wherever else. It's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna wait around for a couple minutes as the matches come in. If you have any questions, please let me know at this point, and we're just hanging out for a little bit longer as we wait for the tournament to end so that I can go over the standings a little bit and we can take a look. It looks like most of the matches have finished at this point. Okay, so I can close some of these things up and see where we're at for this. Otherwise, where are my standings? So, if you are looking to join a really fun Pauper Discord because of this event, and I hope you will, I'm going to drop a link into the chat, and you should feel free to come over. So this will lead to the Pauper Discord that I play with the most. Okay, so that should be memorialized for anyone who's later watching the VODs as well. And here, I'll stop making you look at my MTG Arena screen. And I'll just close that one out for now. And bring you back to specifically this. And this is from round 3, but we'll start going through the deck lists. So, oh, sorry. Here, we'll bring it up on the big screen. So we have Rakdos Sacrifice. And so my opponent was playing some really sweet stuff, as we saw. I've played against this deck from blue-black before, and it's a really tough matchup. Dead Revels is what they're playing. So that's a really cool recursion engine. All right, so there's 2 Royal Eruptions. That's what they're drawing to. So they had the option of bringing in Suffocating Fumes. I'd be curious to ask them how they sideboarded. Wow, they really don't want to deal with enchantments. That's kind of interesting. So they might have had a 3rd Royal Eruption after board. I don't think I actually like Evolving Wilds. I think that's a little too aggressive. I would rather play basic lands for the most part. I'd also consider playing some cycling lands in a deck like this, maybe like 2 cycling lands. Okay, so let's see. JAP is really good. Okay, so he was on Zombies. Zombies is a deck that he's had a lot of success with, and it's very good against blue-black, so I actually think it's better than people think right now, but it does have a lot of weaknesses. Okay, so yeah, this is a pretty standard Zombies deck. I could see playing a few more removal spells. One of the things Zombies suffers against is decks that are really aggressive. as they just don't like trading because they like making the best use of Gem Palm Polluter. And they're really slow and mana intensive because they need to do a lot of recursion with Ghoul Razor and Cemetery Recruitment. Interesting. Very interesting list. So he went 3-1. And let's see, this is the blue-black deck we played against. Let's take a look at its precise list. So Siren Lookout, that's not a card I like. I really like Strike Riverwinder. I think that 2 of these is something that should be in almost every blue-black deck because it's basically free with cycling. Shimmer Scale Drake, I can definitely see that. I like Salvagers a lot. Teferi's Protege. I don't like that card. I understand what he's going for, but I think there's just enough advantage anyway. I like Favor. I think Favor's a really interesting and innovative pick. Love Wander and Death. Absolutely love it. Okay, and then this is a pretty traditional blue-black. Then it's a question on do you choose Hieroglyphic Illumination or what? I think I feel like Divine. I see what he's trying to do with Divine, Deny the Divine, but I think that Essence Scatter for the mana is just better because you want to be able to interact on 2 mana. And if you're on 3, it just creates too many clumps where you don't have the right amount of mana to respond. Second, Wander in Death, Moment of Craving, Libation. Are there any Libations in the main? So there's only 1 Libation between the main and side. That seems like it's a little soft, potentially, against decks like Mono Black Control. But I can see it. Okay, some Negates, Carrion Imps. Carrion Imps are interesting. I think that might be a little aggressive, given he's already on Deny the Divine, but I don't know. It's interesting. It's definitely a very solid blue-black deck. It's a little different than the way I play, but that's fine. I think this is potentially... It's got a lot going for it. Yeah, I just don't like Siren Lookout. He knows I say that, though. Alright, let's take a look at Colorado. What is Mr. Colorado playing? Here, one sec. I'll update to see if we've got any new results. We don't. Colorado is playing a very solid, just mono white. Let's attack you. Oh, he's playing the pump version, and he's just like, we're just gonna get you. Okay, I can see that. Yeah, that's pretty good. I think this is a little too slow is the only problem. These take a lot of time to deploy, the Conquistador and Foot Soldier, because they are identical cards, but they just take a lot of time to deploy a lot of 3-drops. But I can definitely see it being good. Oops, sorry, we don't need to send you off into the dashboard. Let's see, so what was our slightly late player who was playing on time actually doing? Okay, so they were playing Nest Robber. Oh man. Becomes, whoa, I've never seen that card before. That's kind of interesting. So you're just playing the we're zooming deck where they just zoom across and attack people. Cleansing Wildfire. That's pretty wild. That's cute with Hellhound though. Alright, so they're on the mono red rush deck with no sideboard. They're like, we're just getting you. Just getting you. Alright. Alright, so let's see what Blue Sky was on. Blue Sky was someone I was testing with last night. One second, I just want to see if we're doing anything. Okay, so yeah, so where did he end up? He likes 3X's a little too much. This should be 4X Mindstone. Mindstone is one of the best cards in the deck. I don't think Burglar Rat is worth playing in the main. I think that drawing a card is better than making them discard because you end up in a lot of matchups where you draw it late and it's just dead against certain decks. It's good against blue-black at almost all times, but... Alright, let's see. So we've got Trespasser's Curse, Unburden, Feed the Swarm. I like Libations more than Feed the Swarm, but I can understand why you're playing Feed. Yeah, this is pretty traditional. I like Unburden. I was talking with him about that last night. It's a good card. Okay, let's see. Then we have Ed Shaw, who we played against, and Ed was on the mono black Attack You deck with 2 Curse in the main deck. Wow. Just all about getting in and getting people. And then playing Blood Beckoning. I feel like Dead Revels is better, but Lash of Thorns. Wow, these are some interesting cards here. Alright. I can see it. Yeah, I like Gorger when it actually goes big, but it just takes so long to get big enough to actually escape the relevant cards is the issue. So we played against Batista. Batista was on the mono-green attack you deck. Let's not look too closely, but okay. So pretty traditional green deck with a lot of pump spells. Ooh, playing Survivor's Bond to recur both humans and non-humans. What humans does this deck play? I guess wild. One minute. What humans does this deck even play? One sec. Let's double check the standings to make sure they haven't changed. Here, we'll look at that in a second. We've got Trex. We'll open up that list as well. I just want to see how many people have finished their matches. Trex won. We'll see that in a second. Okay, so this had... So how many of these things are actually humans? Silverback is not... Hybrid is a human. Is Tracker a human? No, Tracker is not a human. So it's just a recur hybrid and one other creature. But I guess that's why it's a one-of. Like, it's a pretty, like, impactful one-of, potentially. Okay, so Trex was on creatureless. Oh, wow, this is really interesting. So he was on the completely creatureless, I'm going to get you, negate all your removal, game 1, and then board into 15 creatures. That's pretty great. I don't think that's actually where you want to be at the moment, but it's definitely an interesting strategy, and we might have come full circle to hit a point where that's where you want to be. But that's a really cool thing. I like transformational sideboards, and I like just you have all these cards in the main deck, and stuff like, one minute, there's no Farika's Libation. Oh, you're just playing like 15 counter spells. Yeah. Okay. I can dig it. Alright, and then here, we'll just open up the rest of the lists. That'll be faster than anything else. So it looks like we are here with Mr. or Miss Spence for Is It Blitz? If it ever loads. Alright, so this looks like Is It Blitz? Exactly right. Oh, so we've got, oh wow, we're really getting in with some cartouches and Furor the Bitten. Alright, and some Spell Pierces, Dive Down. I love Dive Down. Dive Down's really good. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think that this could be a little too committal, but I mean, if you rack up like a Slither Blade, which especially is an X2, and then it becomes a 3/4 unblockable, some decks that just can't handle that. Now, this is actually a really cool innovation on this. I think you probably want Killed Fiend somewhere in your list, but otherwise I think it's pretty good. Alright. Looks like Alexander Jackson was playing a Killed Fiend kind of deck. Yeah, okay. I can see this. I like Sprint. Sprint is really good with Fiend. Sometimes you just come out of nowhere and you're just like, here comes the sprinting Fiend and it just murders you. No sideboard, but I'm not sure if that's an error. Sideboards were not actually required. Or sorry, deck lists were not actually required, but I requested them from everyone. Okay, so this looks like mono black rogues. Or kind of party-ish. So this has some burn. Yeah, it's like a mono black kind of burny deck. George typically plays decks that are very theme-centric to a Planeswalker. I'd imagine this one is probably themed to Sorin, given Sorin's Thirst. Okay. Let's see, another Dimir deck. Yeah, we've got Spine Megalodon. I don't like Spine Megalodon. That's just, this I think is a trap card. Got some Mind Stones. You probably want more Mind Stones here. Otherwise, like generally like a pretty general. This is an older style. This is an older version. It's an older code, but it checks out of Dimir. I think that I like decks with a few more creatures these days, and I don't like Megalodon as the finisher. It's just too clunky when you draw it, and you don't. It doesn't win you any games that you weren't already going to win. Let's see. I think we're almost done here. Okay, one more match. And then we'll get our full standings, which we can review in their entirety, and everyone will be happy. Okay, and then, so, Bayessa is actually the person who gave me the secret, and gave me the secret of the Aviary Mechanic Ancestral Statue. I had forgotten entirely about Ancestral Statue, other than it was a terrible card in Dragons of Tarkir Limited like 5 years ago. However, after playing against Bass's Mardu deck, which won a prior Wednesday event, I was like, wow, this deck is insane. After just looking at it, and this is terrible. And then I played against it, I was like, wow, this deck is just wild, but great. So I guess this is where Bass is now on this. Interesting. So I think I obviously disagreed with a few different choices here, and I think that there's a few too many tapped lands and like little complex lands. I don't want to get that complicated, but I understand why. Like Radiant Fountain, sometimes that's what you need to do with Aviary Mechanics. You just need to gain 2 life. But I think that at that point you want to be playing Omen of the Sun. So it's a pity that this one didn't work out. Bass, if you're watching, you're my inspiration for the deck that I played today. Thank you. Yeah, so I think that this is generally okay. So we're just going to wait out for the next couple minutes. Hopefully there's a report. It looks like the people who are playing are going to be the wild and crazy X1 red deck versus mono black. That might take a little bit, but it should wrap up pretty quickly. Mono black something or other. So we're just going to leave this here. And we shall see. But I'm definitely looking forward to bringing you more of these tournaments. I expect that we're going to run a weekend tournament approximately once a month, and everyone is welcome to play. And otherwise, there is a Wednesday evening event that is run by the Plague League. I also am the tournament runner typically for that in conjunction with Dualcast, who is another tournament runner associated with that server. He is the main tournament runner and I'm staff on those events. And otherwise, we play a ton of Pauper, both friendly games and MTGO style leagues that also exist within our Discord server. So I hope that you'll join us. And otherwise, I'll just take a minute or two more to wrap up things here. And we get to see exactly which decks came out on top. I can try and build that, but I'd rather just wait the 2 minutes it'll probably take. I can't imagine that this match will be very long. Both those decks are really trying to go to the face quickly. But maybe they'll get in some board stalls or something. I imagine that the second that we turn away, that's when they will be saying, oh my gosh, we're done. And then I'll be running back here. So let's see. Are there any lists that I really want to look at or talk about? So who won and lost? Because we can start like putting together what's good. So Zombies went 3-1. So Zombies is going to be somewhere in the top probably 4. How many of these are there? There's going to be one. There was one pair down in the last round. So, because that means that myself and Idling are in the top 2. I'm first, Idling is probably second. And let's see here. Blue Sky got knocked out of the top 4 by Zombies. Mono Black versus Zombies. Zombies usually wins. That makes sense. Who do I need? I need Marie. I need blue-black. So it looks like Colorado beat Murray, and Colorado was on the white deck. Ooh, that's... it's a quote for a fistful of dollars. When a man with a pistol beats a man with a rifle, the man with a pistol is a dead man. Like, I don't see... Like, it just feels... It just, like... Maybe that quote doesn't even work. Ah, we got this. Okay, cool. Let's take a look at our final pairings or final standings. Come on, work. Why isn't this working? We got our pairing, our finishing, didn't we? What am I not missing? Oh, it didn't give me the... Oh yeah, it did. Why is this not showing up as done? Because I think everyone else saw this, that there should be no more. The tournament is ended. We'll end the tournament. Congratulations, everyone. We are done, and I don't understand why these things are not updating correctly. Ah, there we go. Okay, so let's see. So I'm on 12. Idling on Rakdos Sacrifice is on 9. Zombies is on 9. Mono White is on 9. I hate Mono White, but good job to Jimmy for taking it to top 4. And then just out in the cold, but doesn't really matter because we're not doing top 4 or anything. We have the Mono Red like aggro deck. That's pretty sweet. Not a lot of Suffocating Fumes, obviously. So then Blue Black. The Batista is a very strong player, so I can definitely see Mono Green coming back from that first round. Trex. Okay. Yeah, so this is about what I'd expect from the results. I wouldn't have expected Mono White to take it this deep, but if Mono White is piloted well, there's a lot it can do. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here for right now. Otherwise, I'd recommend that you join the Discord, and we've got a lot of fun things going on. Thanks to everyone for playing. It was really great that we got realistically 15 active people to play, and it's been good fun. See you all later. Have a good one.